Kyle here from allmediareviews.blogspot.com, here to talk a little bit about the new live live album from Norway's band. I guess you'd call them progressive rock of some kind. They're more avant-garde and cabaret. Major Parkinson. So, sort of in the early days of COVID, they had scheduled a live performance. The title of this new album that came out 2 weeks ago, was it last? It was last Friday, actually, the 18th, called "A Night at the Library." It's a live album without a crowd. It was one of the earliest ones I knew about. It wasn't probably the earliest. Streamed in COVID, because live streams have been done pre. You know that's what's the name of the site that I know that Raina Kindo used. Stage it. But, you know, it obviously started happening more and more. It's still happening to an extent once COVID happened. So this live album was streamed. People paid. I paid for it to stream it live May 15th, 2020. And the live album just came out as a recording on. It's going to be released, or it's available on MP3, of course, to stream and download on their Bandcamp, Major Parkinson's Bandcamp. And then CD and vinyl are being issued for this. I bought the CD just because of the cost to ship it is not. It was pricey and just kind of picking my spots. So having listened to this about 1.5 times, I listened to it all in full today and listened to parts of it over the last week. Really like it. I mean I watched it, I remembered it, it was very intimate, and that's kind of this, it was the same thing, it's very intimate, there obviously is no crowd noise, but it definitely sets a really nice mood, very warm, very acoustic. I mean, Major Parkinson's a band that uses a lot of acoustic elements, but also does do some electric stuff, but I mean, I guess overall they're more acoustic than electric, even though their music gets very intense, even dare I say heavy, although it's not metal, but, so, they have 4 full-length albums, and then in January 2020, I forgot, just listening to this again today, they released a new single called Jonah, and they performed that. So, just to summarize up the track list, the set list, it was songs from their last 2 albums. I don't have it. Hold on. Alright, so I had to track it down. But this live record, "A Night at the Library" by Major Parkinson consists mostly of the songs from this, and then 3 tracks from this. This is their last 2 records. This is Black Box from 2018. No, 2017. And Twilight Cinema from 2014. The last 2 tracks, Jonah, the new song, which is going to be, I guess, on their next record, which I'm not sure when that's coming out. The hope is that it would be this year. But then the last track, Heart of Hickory, comes off the previous record before Twilight Cinema, Solitary Home. I believe that's what it is called. Which I've listened to it, but it's been a long time since I've listened to this and the first album, Songs from a Solitary Home. So, I guess for me, I know that a lot of people caught on to Major Parkinson with Black Box, their last record. So they do, they do Lover, Lower Me Down, Night Hitcher, Before the Helmets, Isabel will Report to an Academy, Baseball, Strawberry Suicide. So they do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, they do 6 songs, I think. Which the thing is weird is I figured they would have done at least Madeline Crumbles, which was I think the first single off of Black Box. You can see there's the track list. And I haven't shown this. I showed this when I maybe got it a few years ago. But from the one that I lean toward, like I said, a lot of people have caught on to them and probably lean toward this being their best record. This does have, I believe, Sandra from Moron Police. But this record, the one that won me over in 2014, does have the Wheelbarrow, Black River, and Beaks of Benevola, which I mean, the Wheelbarrow's sort of been my sort of go-to track. Here's the track list on Twilight Cinema from 2014. If you can see it. Yeah, that's been my #1 track. But actually, Impermanence I've always really loved too. A Cabin in the Sky, Heart Machine, I've loved those two. Beaks of Benevola, I always liked, but I'm just remembering how much I really liked the way that they arrange it on the version on A Night at the Library. So, but they'll say that also a lot of the songs on Black Box, like Baseball's been a favorite of mine. I like the live version. That was my go-to on this record when it came out. Isabella, Report to an Academy, Strawberry Suicide. There's a playfulness and intimacy. The vocalist, I forget his name. I should just find it. The vocalist really does. I mean, he stands out because he sounds like Liam Neeson. He always will sound like Liam Neeson. It doesn't tell here. I mean, I can pull this. I don't know them other than Sandra. If I had to name the members of the band, I would, I'd be hard pressed, sadly. Let's just see here. The new song Jonah. Does it say the performance? Yeah. John Iver Colboten. I think that's how it's pronounced. They obviously have a lot of. They're from Norway, so their names are Scandinavian or whatever. But yes, Sandra. Is this the son? Yes, Skeleval. There's another Sandra in the band, which is weird, but he plays synths on the new song Jonah. He's been doing different stuff. I mean, his primary band is primary band is Moron Police, but he loves. I remember he was a fan of. He talked about being a fan of Major Parkinson before joining the band. So, and Moron Police, I believe, are from Norway also, so that worked out. But yeah, I mean, this is a great sort of. I mean, it's a live album. I don't listen to live albums that much. Once in a blue moon, but I have to admit that and part of it was I have a bit of an incentive, a personal connection, given I did pay to watch this. And, a band like Major Parkinson, who doesn't tour the U.S., they never have. Maybe someday they will, but who knows. This was a neat deal to be able to watch them play live and support them, because they're not an enormous band. They've gotten a little bit of a following, so especially among progressive rock fans. But, yeah, I mean, this live album captures the essence. A lot of their cabaret moments are even bigger at points. Than even on the records here. Yeah, I mean, it was great. It's great that they put this thing out. I might be kicking myself for not getting the vinyl at some point, but you got to kind of figure out what works with your budget, and the CD was sort of the compromise. So, I'm really glad that albums of the year put it on there. But as far as live albums go over the last 5-10 years, it certainly would be up there because again, I felt like I was part of the audience even though there wasn't an audience, and I think they're a really great live band. Their music translates really well live in this setting, especially where it was very stripped down and intimate. I don't know. I haven't watched that many YouTube videos or heard that many live recordings from them in the past. I don't know how they are more among a larger crowd. They more electric versus more like acoustic. There's a lot of piano on here. Like I said, the vocals from what's his name again? The vocals they stand out among everything on this. Maybe Joan Ivar, Joan Ivar. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, but anyway, yeah, I'm really glad that it came out. If you've never checked out Major Parkinson, it'd be a good place to start actually. Although I definitely recommend checking out. A lot of people love Black Box, but either of them, especially if you like bands like Madeline Crumbles, even though it's not on this album. Sounds to me a lot like reminds me of the Diablo Swing Orchestra. The this kind of danceable, slightly danceable, waltzy cabaret elements. But they're definitely prog in sort of a subtle way. I mean, they definitely are fans of Cardiacs and Mike Patton and Faith No More. I can definitely tell her, Mr. Bungle, and that kind of avant-garde, but not too much off the rails. There's still sort of structure to their songs. So, but yeah, Major Parkinson, they were gaining momentum for a while, and they kind of slowed, but I would like to see them still gain more momentum with a new record maybe this year in 2022 or maybe 2023. We'll see that. So, but thank you for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and I'll see you next time.